Just for clarity, a gray swan, I had to look this up. I've heard of black swans, but a gray swan is something that's kind of likely to happen but is underestimated. So in your mind, are we past all these quote unquote gray swans, even though we don't know what the final outcome of the China-U.S. trade talks are going to be, and there might be potential for U.S.-EU trade talks as well?
It does seem like we're starting to move past this. It was, I mean, we had, 2 great years of returns. There was some apprehension coming into this year. And where we are today is basically in a policy-induced kind of uncertainty type of environment where we're looking to, hopefully see some trade deals, see some progress. But it feels like the worst is behind us as we're starting to see, here the trade talks are happening and potentially, hopefully, we'll see some trade deals materialize soon. And the market already seems to be kind of moving past that, looking past that, and focusing on other things.
RaeAnn, hopeful, I think, is a word that a lot of people are putting out there. Speaking of the Milken Conference, I want to play a soundbite from the CEO of Franklin Templeton. I want you to hear what she had to say and see if you agree or disagree.
What do we need to see? The market would like to see a couple of deals cut, right? To know that the U.S. really intends to play ball. So I think that's important. The second thing is we need to see meaningful progress on the extension of the tax cuts or the existing tax system with a couple of additional cuts in there. And if you get those two things, I think it's going to calm the market a lot.
So this is something you're looking at as well, the tax plan. So do you agree? You need a couple of these deals to get done. I think it would be a couple fairly big ones. I don't think like a small island's going to cut it, maybe India or the EU, but also that taxes are very important. Do you agree with that thesis?
I completely agree. I mean, we need to see some trade deals with more meaningful trade partners get done so that we can see that we're moving in the right direction. This is going to get done. And these supply chain disruptions that we have right now are not going to continue spiraling and becoming larger problems than they already are. And the tax plan, I mean, we're already seeing more focus shift over to taxes, which obviously would be a more supportive development. So if we can extend the existing tax cuts and see some additional added in there, that would be incredibly helpful. And I think the market will start to look past a lot of this uncertainty and calm down to some degree.
The tax plan or the tax bill being passed is something a lot of people have highlighted, including the president of the National Association of Manufacturers right here on this show, saying it's very critical for the U.S. economy. Something else coming up that could be big for the economy, the Fed decision coming up tomorrow. What's your view? I've been talking to a lot of traders and strategists. They believe there's mostly downside risk. They don't think that there's really anything that Jay Powell can say that's going to stimulate the market or keep the rally going. Do you agree or disagree? Do you think a dovish Jay Powell has an impact on the market, or is this market still dominated by other factors?
I do think the market will focus very closely on what he says and how he says it. We certainly don't expect to see a rate cut this week, but the market will be focusing on whether that looks like it may be possible, looking out this summer in June, maybe July, and what, if they're going to say that they're waiting till later this year, that probably would be taken as a negative. But it will be a focus. There are a lot of concerns. Obviously, if rates are coming down, that would be helpful to the market. So if there's anything that supports that may be happening in the not too distant future, we expect the market would react positively to that.